back with Bruce Boudreau. We're here to talk a little bit about the Washington Capitals, a team Bruce is very familiar with as a former coach and now a broadcaster with the team. And you've been doing the broadcast in Washington. You told me you did 3 of them so far. But let's talk about Ovi. We talked about him at the beginning of the season. 8 goals in 12 games. We know he's going after the record. Does it surprise you at all that he's had such a good start to the season? Because last year was different.
Last year was different. And this year, I mean, he came back different.
Yeah.
I remember he texted me from a Commanders game before training camp. And I said, pull the phone back. I want to look at you. Take your jacket off. And I said, you in shape this year? And he says, yeah, I'm in shape. And I says, okay, good. Because, I mean, I think he was a little heavy last year. But the one thing about Alex, if you tell him you can't do something, beware. He's going to do something. And so, I mean, he's taken it to heart. And, 8 goals, 12 games. I mean, another goal and assist tonight. He's going to break the record. And he's doing it they're not just tip-ins or empty net goals. He's putting the puck in the net, and he's playing hard. I like it.
And, a little different story for him, new line mates. Is a little bit of it that, Bruce, getting used to life with a new set of younger teammates?
Well, I think the biggest difference is the Caps team is a lot better.
Yeah.
Last year, they couldn't score. So they had to win games 2-1, 3-2. This year, they're averaging 4 goals a game. So they're getting ahead and putting the other teams in positions where they got to chase the game. And that opens up things for Alex. And so, I mean, when you open it up and you're not playing with the lead and trying to protect it like the teams were last year, it's where it was difficult to score. He's getting opportunities to score. And I think he loves the way they play when the other team has to open it up.
Yeah. Because
I think he's sort of a high flyer rather than a defensive specialist.
That's fair. That's fair. We have a big game coming up on TSN 3. Wednesday night. I got to show this to you. It is the Winnipeg Jets hoping to continue their dominance this season. I said Wednesday, I meant Thursday. 12 wins in their first 13 games. Thursday night, they'll play the division rival Colorado Avalanche. We remember what happened to the first round last season, a rematch of the first round from last April. Jets ended up losing in 5. And you and I were talking about this before we talked here. First of all, let's talk about the Jets winning 12 of their first 13 games. Did you see this coming in any capacity?
I thought they were going to be good, but I didn't think they were going to be this good. I mean, 12 out of the first 13, any coach would love to go on that resume right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, but they're playing outstanding, but it shouldn't surprise us, Jay. They were 4th overall in the NHL last year. They had 110 points. What they did have is one bad week. I mean, and that's what we've all thought of in the summer. Boy, they had a bad week, and they didn't really go out and get any free agents. So how are they going to be good this year?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had the Vezina Trophy goalie who had a bad week. They had 3 really good lines. They got, even though they got a new coach, they don't have too much new. He knew everything about all these players. So and then all of a sudden, Kyle Connors has his best start ever. Amazing. Ehlers is having one of his best starts ever. The defense is the highest scoring defense in the league. Boy, I mean, that's a hard team to beat. They've had one bad game against Toronto, and everything else. The thing I liked about they lost to Toronto, but they bounced right back, and they didn't take it for granted that, now we've lost, we'll lose a couple, because they were really ornery. That Scott O'Neill was really ornery that next game against the referees, yelling and screaming. I think they're for real, and I think they've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And you know what? These games that they played the first time back against the team that sort of made you look bad last year, they're interesting ones. It's just a little revenge game, I mean, in the whole scheme of things. But, I mean, when a team beats you out, you want to come back and you want to beat them.
Do you think they have that in their minds going into Thursday night?
I think internally they might not even talk about it.
Right.
But all I know is every time I got beat out in a playoff round, which happened a lot, by the way, the first game when you play that team next year, you want to beat them to show them that you were as good as them.
Yeah.
And I think Winnipeg will do that. I don't think there'll be a let-up. They've won 2 in a row since they lost, or 3 in a row.
Yep.
And I think they're going to try to win and show Colorado that it was a fluke that they beat them the way they beat them.
As you said, one bad week. And we should point out, Jets won all 3 regular season meetings between those 2 teams last season before losing that first-round series. So Thursday night's going to be fun, TSN 3. Bruce, stop by anytime you're hanging around at Scarborough.
It's just a little bit of a long drive from Hershey, but
it is.
I try to get up as much as I can, and I love hanging out with you.
Love hanging out with you, too. Thanks, buddy.